Hi everyone, welcome back to At Home Learning with Miss Ellis. We are on lesson 20. Holy cow, how did that happen so fast? So we are on lesson 20 in a series. So if this is your first one, my advice is always to go back either to lesson 1 and start at the beginning because they do go in order, or at the very least, go back to the beginning of this unit, which was lesson 17. Because all the skills build. Adults, you do need to stay here because this is meant to be a lesson, not just a read aloud. This is a lesson where you have to be there to do what I would normally do, which is pull information out of your child, have a great conversation, and listen to their thoughts. So let's get started. The last time we were together, we read Owl Moon. We talked about the genre and the author's purpose. And this was kind of a tricky one. Some books kind of seem like they could be more than one thing. It seemed as though to us, this book was a little bit of a combination. It was a mixture of entertaining us and teaching us something. We also felt like the genre could have gone either way. It could be a personal narrative story. Jane Yolen is telling about her life. Or it could be that she's a really good and creative writer and it's actually realistic fiction and she's making it seem like it could be real. So that's where your critical thinking and decision making comes up to you. So, and I have a little fur ball here on my lap. So every now and then you might see her jump up. She was waiting outside the door the last couple of hours as I was recording and planning. So finally I had to bring her over and you just heard her snoring. So here, let me show you who this is. This is Paris. She does not like when I force her to move, so she's not moving. We have had her in our lives for almost a year now. She was a rescue and she wants to say hi. Okay, now that you know what's going on and with the snoring in my lap. I just am watching a fox in my backyard. Wow, that was my first time seeing a fox. Cool. All right. So, the last time you were here, we read Owl Moon. We talked about what the author's purpose and the genre might be. And now we're going to move into another narrative text. Because remember, this whole unit is all about narrative form when authors tell their stories in a story form, right? They're not listing facts like they did in some of the other books. They're teaching us things or just telling us a story for entertainment using a story format. So all 5 of the books in this unit are narratives. So we've read 3. We're going to move on to our 4th narrative text. So let's start by predicting. This book is called One Tiny Turtle. And it's by Nicola Davies, illustrated by Jane Chapman. So now, thinking about the genre of narrative writing we have already read, thinking about all the other types of books we have looked at, thinking about the illustration that's here and the name of the book, the title of the book, I want you to now pause the video and talk together about what genre do you think this is? Do you think it's fiction, where it's telling us a story that's not real? Or do you think it's nonfiction, where it's trying to teach us information? So I'm going to start telling you what you should notice. So don't come back to me until you've talked about it. So we can infer, which means we can figure out without them telling us, that this book is probably going to be a nonfiction. Well, actually, there's not enough information yet, really. It could be a narrative nonfiction, meaning it's telling us a story about something real to teach us about that thing. That is very confusing. But narrative nonfiction, which is one of our genre down here. Where are you? Oh, because it's up here with nonfiction, not down there with fiction. Silly Miss Ellis. So narrative nonfiction is one of our genre. And that's when the author tells you a story of real things that happen in order to help us learn information about that thing. So It's giving us facts, giving us real information, but telling us in a story. Okay, that's one possibility. The other possibility, maybe this is going to be a fiction book where it's a fantasy story where we're hearing a turtle talking, or a turtle is talking about its friends, or it's having some kind of an adventure like people would have. So your job while we read is going to be thinking about this and saying, okay, what clues am I getting? Is it teaching us information about turtles, or is it telling me a story about some turtle and the adventures that it has? So that's your job, kiddos, okay? You want to get down? Okay, she got down. Almost took my microphone with her. All right, so one tiny turtle. Now, there is a little preface. It doesn't say preface at the top. Usually it does. But basically, a preface is when the author wants to give you some information before you even start reading the book. So let's read what it says. Look at that beautiful little picture right there. About turtles. Sea turtles are related to tortoises and terrapins. They are all reptiles. Sea turtles are great wanderers, traveling thousands of miles each year, often far from land. This makes them difficult to study, so scientists are only just beginning to find out about their mysterious lives. There are 7 species of sea turtles. This book is about the loggerhead turtle. Loggerheads live in seas all over the world. One tiny turtle. So that gave me some clues. I don't know about you. I'm starting to think of what genre I think it's going to be. I don't know if you're doing the same thing, but that gets me thinking. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory, and empty sky touches the water. Just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. This is the nursery of a sea turtle. So nursery isn't like our nursery school, right? There's no teachers or toys. But a nursery for wild animals is just a place where baby animals grow up.